Disclaimer, this is a topic that goes way deeper than the depth I'm diving into in this video. This video is not a breakdown of Jacksonville gang politics. In this video, my plans take an overall look at Ksoo's life and legacy, commenting on what I feel could have led him into getting involved in street politics, and seeing what, if anything, caused him to dive so deeply into the trenches. Thanks, I hope you enjoy. Hakeem Robinson, better known by his stage name, Ksoo, is arguably one of the most well-known drill artists coming out of the Jacksonville Drill scene. His fame mostly coming from the fact that seemingly he is the shooter he portrays himself to be in his songs. A fact that would wind up unraveling his whole career and also his family life. Today, I'm gonna look into what might have caused him to become what he became. As always, if I miss anything or get anything wrong, be sure to fill me in or correct me in the comments. I'll put the corrections either in the description of this video, or I'll say them in a later video. With that out the way, let's get to the video. Ksoo doesn't have many interviews speaking on his early life, so learning about his childhood was a little difficult. We do know he's always been close to the streets off his father, Abdul Robinson's proximity to the streets. In a 2022 Vlad TV interview, Boosie Badass of all people will go on to say that Abdul has been in the streets and been killing for a long time, vouching that he even knew him personally and claimed that Abdul's mechanic shop got burnt down off the back of some beef that Abdul was in back in the day.
Said Ksoo dad been killing. Like this nigga been like that. You ain't fucking with this nigga wasn't working at no car shop. Like they burnt his fucking car shop up. My cousin lost his car in his fucking car shop.
Okay, I don't know the story about the dad. Okay, so
like,
dad
bro,
was
like the dad ain't no fucking. You think this a camp coach? Ksoo dad is a fucking he like that.
Okay.
Like he's fucking like that. He been like that.
That's why he's
like this dude ain't no bitch ass nigga.
Okay.
I ain't have nothing against Ksoo. I knew Ksoo dad from my cousin working a Ksoo dad work on his cars.
Okay.
Like Ksoo dad been like he ain't no bitch ass nigga. Ksoo dad ain't no niggas know Ksoo dad in Duval.
This leads me to believe that Ksoo's father brought up Ksoo around a bunch of gang activity and gang members who were active in the streets, leaving a massive impression on the young Ksoo. And maybe this is what explained how he turned out to be the demon that he's known publicly as today. Growing up in Jacksonville's north side, Ksoo would be exposed to a lot of the same things other drill artists in the city came up experiencing. A lack of fun shit and the excess of poverty led to delinquency and crime. But seeing that Ksoo's family were well known in the criminal's underworld, it's almost like Ksoo's natural path was that of crime. In these videos, I do mostly focus on the artists themselves, but I think it should be noted that the parents of these artists seemingly led them down the path that they are currently going down, specifically with Ksoo's dad and Fulio's mom. Each seemingly either encouraged the bad activities in their child's life, or they just neglected them until they were outside roaming the streets. It's genuinely sad and a big part of why so much crime happens in Jacksonville. I believe, at least. When Ksoo was in middle school, around 7th grade, Ksoo would go on to meet his lifetime best friend and future drill sensation, Youngin Ace. Around this time, Ksoo was allegedly cool with 6 Block members, specifically Fulio and them, but he was never a member or even affiliated, he would just hang out around them. It's always the motherfuckers you know who turn out to be your biggest enemies, every time. Throughout high school, as Ace and Ksoo would get closer, beef with 6 Block and YNR members started to boil up a bit, all accumulating at a house party hosted by YNR Mookie. At this party, an argument would break out between Mookie and Ace, leading to both sides opening fire on each other. Miraculously, no one was killed, but Mookie ended up getting grazed. This was the first spark that led to the war in Jacksonville. Shortly after that spark, an ATK affiliate by the name of DeAndre Thomas would break into the home of a 6 Block affiliate by the name of Zion Brown, opening fire on him and his 2 sisters, killing Zion instantly and wounding the 16 and 9-year-old girls. It's not clear whether Zion was an official member of the 6, but it's clear to see why they declared war on ATK after this incident, seeing that Zion was a close cousin to Fulio. After this incident, YNR would quick up with 6 Block under the alliance KTA, or Kill Them All. Shortly after this, Ace's house would begin to get shot up on a regular basis, and the Zion hit is most likely what caused the infamous Japanese steakhouse Youngin Ace hit to happen. Throughout this time, music would play a big role in the beef, mostly through Ace, Fulio, and the YNR crew dissing and throwing songs back and forth. It wouldn't be until 2019 that Ksoo started to dip his feet into drill. Seeing that Ksoo was an active shooter for ATK, all of his music played like a biography, which would lead to his music picking up traction almost instantly. With how active Ksoo was on social media, you can make the case that he was just as crazy as King Von with how he laid out clues to murders and memed on rivals. I'm getting a little ahead of myself though. The earliest song that's on Ksoo's YouTube is his 2019 song, Can't Think, featuring DEMEGNI. From the jump, Ksoo is dissing deads and claiming bodies, and yelling out his affiliation. It's almost like Ksoo is trying to speedrun the drill scene. And Jesus Christ, did it work. Because of the feature with DEMEGNI and some co-signs from Young and Ace and all them, he would end up blowing up really fast. This was definitely helped by his personality and his all the time memeing on deads. In January 2019, Ksoo would be hit in a shooting that was aiming for his friend, Boss Goon. Sadly, they'd end up hitting their target with Boss Goon dying on the scene and Ksoo and one of his family members getting hit with stray bullets. In retaliation for this, a month later, a KTA affiliate by the name of Lil Buck was gunned down, but this wasn't anywhere close to the end of ATK's retaliation. The hit that arguably ruined Ksoo's life would be the one that came next. Ace and ATK's main op was Fulio, and he was a huge target for ATK at this time, especially after the Young and Ace Wasabi Steakhouse incident. So, with that in mind, on February 2019, Ksoo and another affiliate stalked and walked down Fulio's best friend, a 16-year-old Bibby, outside of his apartment complex. This would go down as one of the most brutal hits in Jacksonville Drill history, seeing as Ksoo was a well-known rapper and he was specifically witnessed standing over Bibby before face-shotting him and running away. It didn't help that Ksoo had a habit of walking around in Bibby clothing and loved to taunt Bibby at every chance he could, leading investigators right to him when it came time to actually charge him. I'm getting a little ahead of myself though. Ksoo's music would really start to take off around this time, with songs like Bang It Out, Step on Some, and Steady Bangin' getting over 3 million views each consistently. While Ksoo's flows weren't as smooth and nice as some of the other artists coming up in the scene, he made up for it with his wild lyrics and his dark Joker personality. That motherfucker is just captivating to watch. No diddy. Apparently, all this success meant very little to Ksoo, as he was intent on throwing it all the way in the streets. At the same time as his meteoric rise in music, Ksoo would be in active shootings left and right. In March 2019, Ace, Ksoo, and a few other ATK affiliates were chilling outside of a pool in Waycross, Georgia, when gunmen opened fire on the crew, hitting one of Ksoo's friends, killing him almost instantly. Ksoo immediately began shooting back, as well as 3 other ATK affiliates, though those 3 would be picked up almost instantly for shooting back, while Ksoo got away scot-free. A few months after the Waycross shooting, Ksoo and another affiliate would be seen antagonizing his cousin and op, Lil 9, on Instagram Live in order to, quote, do a team deathmatch in real life. Yeah, okay, this motherfucker crazy. A few months later, on June 9th, 2020, Lil 9 would be driving eastbound on Atlantic Boulevard where he would be pulled up on and ambushed, getting shot 12 times in a brutal drive-by shooting. Lil 9 would attempt to flee, but in his attempt, he'd lose control of the wheel and wreck into a nearby tire shop. In the aftermath of the shooting, one of Lil 9's affiliates would make a chilling video at the scene, vowing revenge and kinda panicking a little bit. As if to throw salt on the wound, Ksoo and Fallout Sosa will go on IG making fun of Lil 9's death, mocking the video where the guys were vowing revenge, and even recreating the scene that the video had shown. Later on that year, in Ksoo's video for his song Been Dead, Ksoo would go on to put his cousin Lil 9 in a microwave, as well as making references in that song to the Waycross shooting, among other things. Along with Bibby's murder, Ksoo is also awaiting trial for the murder of Lil Buck, who you might remember me saying was retaliation for Ksoo's friend, Boss Goon. This time though, his dad was dragged into the charges as well. After the murder of Boss Goon, Ksoo and his father would hunt down and kill the person responsible, that person being a man by the name of Lil Buck. Ksoo's dad, who was allegedly there when Boss Goon was killed, was charged with accessory after the fact in the Lil Buck murder case, as allegedly it was direct retaliation and he helped. With all that being said, he's no longer getting hit with these charges because he's a fucking rodent and decided he was going to turn state on his own son instead of facing the brunt of the charges. As a quick side note, the amount of disdain I have for this man is unmatched. Like, okay, if you're a parent, you shouldn't be okay with your child's crimes, and it's okay to snitch on them if you're a civilian and you think it's bad. I'm totally behind that. Abdul Robinson ain't no fucking civilian though. Remember, at the start of this video, Boosie was vouching for how much work Abdul put in the streets. You're telling me that a local hood legend is gonna help his son do gang shit, raise him up to be who he is, and then as soon as the heat turns on, he's gonna turn bitch and eat the cheese? Fucking rodents, dude. Jesus Christ. This isn't me condoning murder at all either. It's just a thing of if you're growing up in a criminal lifestyle, there is a code, especially with older motherfuckers. So if you're so crooked that you would break those codes and lock away your own child for life in order to save yourself from decisions you fucking made, then you are worse than scum in my eyes. Whew. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I've had family go to jail off snitch shit. This shit aggravates the fuck out of me. The murder of Bibby and the murder of Lil Buck are what set Ksoo on the downward trajectory that he's currently facing. If you were to ask me, what is the best representation you can give me for the entirety of Jacksonville Drill? Just one person to personify the energy of the entire movement, it would be Ksoo. No one else personifies the chaos of that lifestyle better than him, and I'm afraid that lifestyle is now finished. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe with the bell in order to stay up to date with my uploads that I make. I might start uploading multiple times a week, but y'all will for sure have one video every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I say I'll upload multiple times a week. That'll probably start in September, because I gotta go to North Carolina for some shit. But, you know, I'll try to have multiple videos out a week. One every Wednesday for sure, though. With all that being said, peace out, chill out.
Fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
They're doing their part.